so I hear we're back up. However, Deb stepped out for a second, so we'll wait for Deb Sharpless to return to complete her update. So just bear with us for a few minutes.
Yeah, I think so. He was helping somebody who was disabled vehicle and the truck driver. What he said. Oh my gosh, yes. Marked flashing lights, marked vehicle, it's kind of like it was an unmarked vehicle, marked vehicle, flashing lights.
All right, Deb Sharpless has joined us again. Sorry you had to go out and take a phone call, but go ahead, Deb.
Thanks.
Continue.
So I'm going to provide an update, a quarterly update on traffic and revenue for the first quarter of July through September. I'm going to begin with key takeaways. Passenger vehicle traffic levels continue to track closely to pre-pandemic levels, which can be seen in the CDM Smith report provided, Figure 1 on page 2. Also, in Figure 1, page 2, you can see the commercial traffic levels continue to outperform pre-pandemic levels. And on a system-wide basis, transactions and revenue exceeded the forecast by 2.8% and 7.7% respectively. However, when we adjust for timing differences, system-wide revenue is ahead 4.3 million or 2.3%. Now, second, I'm going to go to some of the tables that you're familiar with. One thing I want to point out about these timing differences, what's different about these timing differences as opposed to the timing differences we used to talk about last year is these we are ahead of schedule. So the forecast assumes a certain number of days of lag between the date the customer travels and the date the transaction's posted. So we've posted a few more days than what that assumption is in the forecast. Whereas last year, all the timing differences we were playing catch up, okay? So now if I take you to attachment A of your materials, the first thing you see is our forecast and actuals and the unadjusted difference. That's at $14.5 million I was just talking about. And then when we adjust for 10.2 million of timing differences, we're at 4.3 million. So then the next question is, what makes up for that? It's primarily Easy Pass transactions is the bulk of it, where we've processed AVI or transponder read transactions 6 days ahead, and iTolls is 1 day ahead. Now also on video tolls, we've mailed 1.1 million more transactions than we had forecasted. And that is how we get to the 4.3 million being ahead. Attachment C speaks to like what makes up the 4.3 million, what's driving it. Look at that at your leisure. I just, some caution, when we're only one quarter in, and so things can move a little bit, but right now, we're in good shape. That's it. Any questions?
Everybody's so fast.
Any questions for Deb?
No,
No?
good news.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
Okay.
Next update, independent auditors report on the FY22 financial statements. Deb, you're still up?
I am. I got more good news.
That's great. I like hearing good news for audits.
Okay. So we had our annual financial statements audited by Clifton Larson Allen. They were present at the Finance Committee meeting and presented the financial statements. So I'm going to run through that with the full board today. So moving to the PowerPoint slide, I'm going to jump to slide 4. So the first thing is during the audit, the key area of emphasis that they had were investments, capital assets, including leased assets. There was a new GASB that went into effect this year for us, GASB 87. Long-term debt, revenue, particular attention was given to estimates. If you remember last year, we had some rather large accruals, much smaller accruals this year. Intergovernmental relationships. We changed the terminology from direct financing leases to intergovernmental financing leases. If you recall, that's the conduit debt we have. We have the parking garage in Annapolis. We have rental cars and some other with MDOT. So all we did is we changed the terminology of that because with GASB 87, direct financing leases is a defined term, and it really just didn't fit those conduits, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't have any confusion. And then emphasis was also placed on financial reporting, and we received an unmodified opinion. Layman's terms, that means a clean opinion. So when they do the audits, they also look at internal controls. Although the audit is not designed to be an internal control audit, they do look at them, particularly any controls they're relying upon for financial statement purposes. And happy to report that they did not identify any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies throughout the audit. So moving to slide 6, governance. So significant accounting policies are consistent with prior years. We do have to incorporate estimates, and some of those estimates are rather significant. Any estimate comes with a level of risk. So the allowance for doubtful accounts on receivables, unbilled toll revenue, so the initial accrual, pollution remediation liabilities, capital asset depreciation, and pension liabilities. The auditors did not encounter any difficulties when performing the audit. On slide 7, there were no uncorrected misstatements. There were no corrected misstatements. So the difference is uncorrected, they identified something and we chose not to book it. Corrected is they identified something and we chose to book it. So they didn't identify any entries under either scenario. There were no disagreements with management. Management did not use any consultants or other accountants. With preparing the financial statements, significant issues discussed with management prior to retention. There were none that we had to have conversations about. And Will and I presented a representation of management, which basically is our rep letter that we pledge how we've been truthful, forthcoming, gave records. We provided that to the auditors, which is standard practice. So the last thing the auditors noted is just future considerations, which has to do with future GASBs. GASB 94 involves public-private partnerships. 96, subscription-based IT arrangements. And the last two, 99 and 101, won't have any impact on us at all, I'm sure. And even 94 and 96, it will, we expect them to be very moderate. So that is the good news about our financial statement audit.
Any questions for Deb?
I just have a comment. I think that all in all, good report, good audit, and I think it reflects on the hard work, the dedication, and the competence of the team we have here at MDTA. And this is a big deal,
Thank you.
so thank you.
Yeah. I agree, Deb. When I looked at the misrepresentations and saw none, I mean, that was key.
Thank you.
That was great information, and it's always good to have a third party review what we're doing, but to get such a great report is just excellent work by you and your team.
Thank you. We talked about this November meeting. It's a big, heavy finance meeting, and so this is months of work that come up to this meeting, and the financial statements are no different. So the team really worked hard, and we're a large organization, very complex accounting, and we have very tight timelines for our financial statements. So, Chantel and all, she leads quite a group to be able to pull this together. So from a financial statement audit perspective, we have one audit remaining for fiscal year '22. It's an A133. Some people call it a single audit. Has to do with federal funds. That's not due for a little bit, so we'll do that. Recently, we presented last year's A133 to you, and previously reported to you the 3 SOC audits, the CAPS SOC 1, the TransCore SOC 1, and the TransCore SOC 2. And all of those audits were also very good.
Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Chantel, you don't see a smile.
All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Deb. Appreciate it. Next order and last order of business is the Executive Director's Report, pinch hitting for Will Pines. Joey Sagal.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, board members. For the record, my name is Joey Sagal, the Chief Operating Officer for the MDTA. I'll be providing the Executive Director remarks for Will Pines, who I know would much rather be here with us today. He's under the weather, and we wish him well and feeling better soon. Yesterday, we sent the 2-week reminder that the civil penalty waiver grace period of MDTA's Customer Assistance Plan is coming to a close. The waiver grace period ends on Wednesday, November 30th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m. As the board is aware, we have been urging customers to take advantage of this plan and not wait until the last minute. Since the beginning of the plan nearly 9 months ago, we've leveraged every notification platform available to make sure that all of our customers are aware of the civil penalty waiver opportunity ending in 2 weeks. We've attended numerous public events, issued monthly countdown news releases, which were shared with all the members of the General Assembly and other elected officials, sent direct mailers to customers as well. In August, the MDTA mailed 1.3 million Act Now letters to customers who had not made any payments during the civil penalty waiver grace period, urging them to make a payment on their outstanding toll debt before the grace period ended. In February, MDOT Secretary Ports also emailed the entire Maryland General Assembly, providing them with the Customer Assistance Plan news releases and facts, FAQs, requested for this information to be shared with their constituents. In September, we mailed state and county elected officials a letter signed by Will Pines requesting their help in reminding constituents about the upcoming end of the civil waiver penalty period. During the statewide fall MDOT CTP, Consolidated Transportation Program tour meetings, both Secretary Ports and Will Pines spoke with and about the Customer Assistance Plan, what it was, how it worked, and when the waiver grace period was ending at all county meetings. Monthly countdown news releases have been shared through social media. The news releases are also distributed to subscribers of MDTA's Gov Delivery email or text alerts on how you get those, which has more than over 700,000 subscriptions. A daily countdown is also available on Twitter, mdta.maryland.gov website, baybridge.com website, and driveezmd.com websites, alerting customers to the remaining days to the 11:59 p.m. November 30th, 2022 end of grace period. In addition, broadcast media ran multiple stories on their programming about the Customer Assistance Plan, and MDTA's Executive Director, Will Pines, provided media availabilities to even further broadcast interview opportunities on the waiver grace period. Proactive interviews about the grace period's 30-day countdown ran in Baltimore, Washington, and Salisbury media markets. In April, we rolled out a media campaign to educate the tolling customers about 1, the civil penalty waiver grace period, 2, the 15% video toll savings when customers pay before we mail their toll notice, and 3, EasyPass Maryland account management. The campaign included 32 billboards in proximity to the MDTA's toll facilities, radio ads that aired in English and Spanish on 20 broadcast radio stations, as well as on streaming platforms such as Pandora and radio.com. Print ads also in over 10 news publications. Targeted digital display ads replaced with the Amazon demand-side platform using the top 100 zip codes with the highest density of notice of tolls due, or NOTDs, and a 10-mile radius of toll facilities. Digital ads also ran on BaltimoreRavens.com. In October, 1.1 million EasyPass Maryland customers received an e-blast that included a reminder about the civil penalty waiver grace period. The open rate for the e-blast was just shy of 50%, which is exceptional. We've also sent reminders to EasyPass customers asking them to check for outstanding video tolls if they had periods when their account had insufficient funds. Throughout the plan, full details have also been prominently displayed on the MDTA and DriveEasyMD websites. Also, when customers contact the call center, a message on the IVR, or Interactive Voice Response System, informs callers about the civil penalty waiver grace period. The MDTA's in-person customer service centers also have notices displayed. Also, inserts about the waiver grace period are included in the NOTDs mailed to customers. We're urging everyone to help spread the word about this limited time opportunity for our tolling customers. Tell your friends, tell your family, and make sure they know the civil penalty waiver grace period and the real savings that it offers. On December 1st, customers will be responsible for the full amounts of all unpaid tolls, as well as any civil penalties, which will be due based on the printed due dates. Toll debt referrals to the Central Collection Unit for collections actions and to the Motor Vehicle Administration for vehicle registration suspensions will resume. Here's just one example. Pay $18 now for 3 video tolls from the Fort McHenry Tunnel, or pay $93 after the November 30th for tolls and civil penalties if not paid by the due date. Switching gears, I'd like to talk to and share how excited we are to announce that we are taking the following steps to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, at the MDTA. At MDTA, we want to attract the best talent and welcome everyone to be a part of our diverse team and to belong to the MDTA family. MDTA team members have already participated in 3 MDOT diversity to belonging cohorts, bringing lessons learned back to the MDTA to ingrain in our culture. Our leadership roundtable is also regularly discussing these best practices to advance DEI, mindful leadership, and recently discussed survey results on our own unconscious bias. We've recently made DEI training opportunities and exercises available to our employees. We are now establishing a cross-functional DEI committee to develop and execute MDTA's DEI strategy. We will be conducting a DEI survey with all MDTA employees to understand their perspectives on DEI. We will also ask employees how they think MDTA is doing regarding DEI, their thoughts and feelings about inclusion and belonging. We are planning a virtual town hall meeting with MDTA employees and executive leadership, and during that virtual town hall meeting, we will share the results of the DEI survey as well as our vision, plan, and purpose of our DEI initiatives. We will ensure confidentiality to those employees who bring forth DEI concerns and invite employees to provide their thoughts and feedbacks about the DEI survey. We will also be incorporating DEI topics in the new employee orientation program and create standalone DEI training, topics which will include anti-bias, unconscious bias, allyship, acceptance, and inclusivity. I'd now like to also update the board on the executive director's plans to establish a new leadership position here at the MDTA, a Director of Customer Experience. This request aligns with MDTA board member support for the MDTA to provide our customers with premier customer service. This role is in line with customer service initiatives around MDOT and will leverage data to bring consistency in customer experience between our various modes of service. The Director of Customer Experience would be an executive-level position responsible for the strategic planning and direction of MDTA's customer experiences to ensure exceptional customer service is delivered to our MDTA customer base. This position would serve as a 360-degree view of the MDTA customer experience from beginning to end, focusing on delivering positive impressions at every external customer touchpoint from beginning to end. The position would be responsible for developing and sustaining a premier customer service culture and managing regularly reoccurring MDTA-wide customer service training programs, and especially for our frontline customer service positions. This position would also collect and use customer data and analytics to holistically evaluate our customers and our customer service, and would establish control system standards, processes, and ensure that exceptional customer service. The position will report to the MDTA Chief of Staff and will be a senior manager to effect customer service across the entire agency. Just a few days ago, Will was also very proud as Executive Director to present the 2022 Employee of the Quarter for our third quarter award to Mr. Tim Sheets. Many of you know Tim from seeing him around with our live stream team. Tim was nominated by his fellow coworker, Nancy James. Tim started with the MDTA as a student in the mailroom, and today Tim is one of our public affairs officers in the Division of Communications. His coworkers described him as always going above and beyond to support the MDTA and the Drive Easy MD outreach team, and he directly staffs numerous outreach events no matter how close or how far away they are, or how early or how late they stay, and I can attest to that. I've worked a few late nights with Tim. And if he is unable to attend an event, he always makes sure there is a reliable and supportive team pulled together to greet the public and answer or resolve any issues they may have at these events. Tim not only designs and creates our internal Connections e-newsletter every month so that MDTA employees can stay in the know, but he also transformed the newsletter to be a fully virtual format that can be easily accessed even by our teams in the field by using a smartphone QR code. Tim helps fill many roles in our Division of Communications, including graphic design, live streaming, and website and internet content management. As his coworker Nancy James states, quote, "He is a great asset to MDTA." I wanted to publicly congratulate Timothy Sheets as the recipient of the MDTA Employee of the Third Quarter in 2022. I'm also happy to report today that for the 9th consecutive year, the MDTA has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the production of the fiscal year 2021 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. This certificate is awarded by the Government Finance Officers Association and serves as the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting. Our Division of Finance has once again proven how well they do their jobs, to echo Chief Financial Officer Deb Sharpless just a few minutes ago in her report. Lastly, I want to thank all of those involved who made the Bay Bridge Run, which took place on Sunday, November 13th, a success. I know Member Gangemi participated in that. I was a last-minute participant filling in for a friend, and I can tell you it was a great event. Our MDTA Police and Operations and Communications helped to make the event a success for all who participated that day. Our traffic advisory alerted motorists to anticipate travel delays until 2 p.m. that day, and fortunately, we had the bridge cleared and all lanes reopened just before noon. Traffic in the area on both east and westbound cleared by 1 p.m., an hour before our announced 2 p.m. time. With nearly 16,000 attendees, it's a safe and phenomenal event for Anne Arundel and Queen Anne's counties, and I want to thank them for their partnership on the event. That will conclude my remarks on behalf of Will Pines this month. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Joey? Or-
Mr. Chairman, thanks, Joe. I mean, on the run, did you, it was 16,000. Who was the 15,999? Do you know who that was, by any chance?
I do not, Member Cox, but I tell you what, that
Member
would
Dan
probably be
Jimmy.
an interesting bit of research to find out. They're either first or last, depending on how you looked at it. But it was great to see so many of our constituents, our
Thank you.
citizens there.
Congratulations, member.
Jim.
And Senator.
Yes, sir.
Joey, thank you for the update. I think I would just like to point out for the record the expansive, extraordinary, and commendable efforts from a communication standpoint around notice of tolls due. What you walked us through and what the authority has done over the period of time to accommodate customers with delinquent tolls and shepherd them through the process, letting them know the time frame in which the waiver period was and what have you. I think I've never seen anything executed as exceptionally as that has been done. So I would just like to commend the authority on its part for doing that, and I certainly hope that customers throughout the state of Maryland appreciate what a yeoman's effort that must have been over the last period of time to do that.
Thank you, Member Carroll. Our teams did a phenomenal job, and we'll make sure that's passed along.
Yeah, Member Carroll, you stole my thunder. For the record, I was going to do the same thing. I see Kelly Mellon back here. Her and her team, I think, did an excellent job with the radio, billboards. I mean, all those other outreach efforts that people don't think about. As well as I need to compliment you, Joey, and Executive Director Will Pines for the overall customer assistance plan. I mean, like Member Carroll said, never seen anything like it, where we had contacted elected officials, kept abreast of everything that's going on each and every month, even half months as we get closer, if you will. We mentioned at every CTP, Consolidated Transportation Program meeting, in every single county in Baltimore City, as we went through and reminded them of the amount of days that were left. Gave people 9 months, which was extraordinary. I don't know any credit card company that would do that. They give you 1 month and then boom, they hit you with the fees. And as you know, our goal is not to collect the fees. Our goal is just to collect the tolls. We want the customers to have the best customer experience, but we do need them, if they choose to utilize the toll facilities, to pay their fair share for their toll. So I just want to thank you, Kelly, the rest of the team, Will Pines, for all that you guys do. Again, I think it's extraordinary, and I just wanted to make sure we recognize that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and my thanks extended as well to our cross-cutting approach with finance, operations, and administration IT, making that a success.
Yeah, great. Any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, thank you, Joey. At this point, the agenda is complete, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Been moved
Second.
and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We are now adjourned. Thank you. That concludes the meeting on MDTA Board at 10:21 a.m. Thank you.